back, relax, and maybe get yourself a snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books. Hey guys! So, new filming angle. I don't know if this is a good one or not, but I thought I would just put this shelf in the background because you never normally see this shelf. This shelf here is where I keep all of my arcs that I get given. Just in case you were wondering, that's where I keep them. Today I'm here to do another book haul. I got sent a few more things from publishers and a few books that I bought for myself turned up too. This is a fairly small one, so we're going to get through this fairly quick, hopefully, but I'm excited about some of the books in this, so let's get started. The first one I was sent very kindly from Macmillan, and this is published by Bluebird, who are one of their imprints. It's called To Hygge, and this is The Secrets of Nordic Living by Signe Johansson. Basically, this is a book all about how to hygge, which is essentially kind of living a very simplistic life and enjoying the good things like family and friends. I read a little bit about hygge when I was reading The Year of Living Danishly, and that kind of got me quite interested in the idea of hygge. I had never heard of it before, although Mercedes and Lauren and a couple of other people I know were talking about it, and I was like, what are you guys talking about? I don't know. And they told me I had to read The Year of Living Danishly so I would understand, and then I was offered this one by Macmillan and I said yes please. So this is a nice format hardback. It's quite luxury feeling. There's loads of like pictures. I think there's got recipes and all sorts of other things inside as well, and I think it talks a lot about hygge and how to achieve hygge, so I'm pretty excited, I have to admit. The next one I have, I'm definitely eager to get to soon. This is Triumph, which is by Carolyn Jessup. You might remember in my TBR for the month of November I had Escape, which is also by Carolyn Jessup. This is the book all about her time in the FLDS, which is the Fundamentalist Church of the Latter-day Saints, and she was brought up as part of this religion, cult, whatever you want to call it, and then she escaped many years later with her 8 children, and that's the story in this book. This book is written by the same author. It's set a couple years later after they've escaped, and it's about a raid that happened on the Yearning for Zion ranch. I don't really know anything more about the raid. I think maybe if you live in America you'd know more about it. I don't really know about it, but I'm guessing it was to do with the Latter-day Saints again, and this is about that raid and also about how Carolyn and her children's lives have been changed since they kind of came out into the open world, I suppose, rather than being trapped in the community that they grew up in. So it sounds pretty interesting. I'm definitely a fan of her writing, so I hope that this one will be really good as well. It's a lot shorter than the first one. This is the first one, but I'm really interested, and hopefully I'll be able to get to this month as well, because yeah, I would love to know what happened to their family after they escaped a bit more. The next book I have is called Only Ever Yours. This is by Louise O'Neill. I've heard fantastic things about this book from so many people. I believe this is a fictional book, and it says that Frida and Isabel have been friends for their whole lives. Now, aged 16 in their final year at school, they expect to be selected as companions, wives to wealthy and powerful men. The alternative, life as a concubine, is too horrible to contemplate. But as the insanity of the final year takes hold, the pressure to remain perfect becomes almost unbearable. Isabel starts to self-destruct, putting her beauty, her only asset, in peril, and then the boys arrive, eager to choose a bride. Frida must fight for her future, even if it means betraying the only friend, the only love that she has ever known. Now, I've heard really great things from various people about this. I believe it's a kind of YA story, it is fiction, and I've heard really fantastic things from friends about the topics it deals with, so I'm hopeful that I'll really like it. I can't wait. And I also really like this sort of Barbie doll cover, because it's quite creepy. It's just staring at us like, ah. The next one I have is a non-fiction. This one is called The Rape of Nanking, and it's by Iris Chang, with a strapline of The Forgotten Holocaust of World War II. I've heard fantastic things about this one. This is the forgotten story of one of history's most brutal massacres. In December 1937, the Japanese army swept into the ancient city of Nanking. Within weeks, more than 300,000 Chinese civilians and soldiers were systematically raped, tortured, and murdered, a death toll exceeding that of an atomic blast in Hiroshima and Nagasaki combined. Using extensive interviews with survivors and newly discovered documents, Iris Chang has written the definitive history of this horrifying episode. It tells the story from 3 perspectives: that of the Japanese soldiers, that of the Chinese, and that of a group of Westerners who refused to abandon the city and created a safety zone which saved almost 300,000 Chinese. More than just narrating the details of an orgy of violence, The Rape of Nanking analyses the militaristic culture that fostered in the Japanese soldiers a total disregard for human life. It also tells of the concentrated effort during the Cold War on the part of the West and even China to stifle open discussion of this atrocity. Now, I think you guys might know that I've been looking into sort of the Japanese involvement in World War II a little bit more. I read The Garden of Evening Mists, I read The Paper Menagerie, and I read The Blue Door, and all of them were about Japanese prisoner of war camps in some way or another. This sounds like a really explicit look at the war and the Japanese involvement and one particular event that was staining the memory of this war. I've heard so many brutal and fantastic things about this. I think it's going to be a really, really hard hitter. So I'm kind of terrified going into it that it's going to be really scarring and horrible, but I think it's one of those things that is essential to remember. Things like this that did happen in our history. So I'm definitely interested, I am definitely looking forward to it, and hopefully I will like it as much as it's possible to like something that sounds absolutely horrible and tragic. So definitely looking forward to this, and again, hopefully I'll get to it this month, we'll see. I was sent this one by a publisher, Gallant, in the UK. You guys saw in one of my previous hauls very recently that I got the US edition of Arcanum Unbounded. This is the UK edition, which is again in the same style as all of his other UK edition books. The cover is designed by Sam Green, who I love as an illustrator. As I said in my previous haul, this is a collection of all of the unpublished Sanderson Cosmere novellas. So there are things like Shadows for Silence in the Forests of Hell, White Sand, there's a little extract from White Sand, which is the graphic novel he's publishing, and then there's a new story called Edge Dancer, which I am currently halfway through and very much enjoying. So definitely looking forward to adding this one to my collection because I own all of the UK covers and editions, but I'm super happy to have this one and the American cover because I've never had the American one. So now I've got 2 copies of the book, which may seem excessive, but Sanderson is a great author, so I'm very, very happy that Gallant sent this to me, so thank you to them. The next one I have is a book I bought for myself, and this one is Elric, and it's by Michael Moorcock. I've heard from various different people many times that I should read some Michael Moorcock and try him out, and I never have, so I decided to pick up this one. I got it really cheap secondhand. Elric of Melonbone, the haunted, treacherous and doomed albino sorcerer prince, one of the great creations of modern fantasy. An introspective weakling, enthralled to his soul-eating sword, Stormbringer, he is yet a hero whose bloody adventures and wanderings lead inextricably to his decisive intervention in the war between the forces of law and chaos. This volume brings together The Stealer of Souls and Stormbringer, the 2 earliest books of Elric's adventures, and confirms Michael Moorcock's place as one of the most important fantasy writers of our time. A lot of people seem to like his stuff though, so I thought I would pick up one of his books. I have to say, not a huge fan of the cover because look at it, it's really weird. Yeah. Anyway, hopefully the book will be good. Let me know if you've read any Michael Moorcock, and hopefully this is the right place to start with his stuff. And the final one that I have to show you is one I was sent by Macmillan. This is Pantomime. It's by Laura Lamb. The second book is called Shadowplay and the third one is called Masquerade. I loved The Night Circus and I loved Caraval, which is also kind of a circusy, creepy, circus-like setting. So I do tend to really enjoy circus setting, pantomime settings, and I'm hopeful that I'll like this one. It says, in a land of lost wonders, the past is stirring once more. Jean's life resembles a debutante's dream, yet she hides a secret that would see her shunned by nobility. Jean is both male and female. Then she displays unwanted abilities, last seen in mysterious beings from an almost forgotten age. Matters escalate further when her parents plan a devastating betrayal, so she flees home, dressed as a boy. The city beyond contains glowing glass relics from a lost civilization. They call to her, but she wants freedom, not mysteries. So, reinvented as Micah Gray, Jean joins the circus. As an aerialist, she discovers the joy of flight, but the circus has a dark side. She's also plagued by visions foretelling danger. A storm is howling in from the past, but will she heed its roar? It sounds really good. The covers are lovely. I love the designs of these. And the other 2 covers also look really cool. So I really hope I like this. I have another book by Laura Lamb too, which is False Hearts, I think it's called, and I want to get to that one soon. So that is all of the books that I have to show you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, and thanks to the publishers who sent all of them to me, and I'm really excited about some of the non-fiction books that I showed you and fiction. I'm planning to get back to fiction in December, so definitely I'll get to some of these books soon. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video very soon. Bye!
Thank you for watching my video today. Go pick up a book, then come back and chat with me again.